mornings. I've just returned from Disney World. The speed and noise of amusement parks are not really my thing, and I got sick while I was there, so that kind of impacted my overall ability to enjoy myself. But on the other hand, my little one had a great time, and that's actually what matters. My experience, though, also has me thinking theme parks would be some amazing settings for TTRPG adventures, so that's actually kind of cool. The day I got run over by the illness train at Disney was the same day that we did Star Wars Land in Hollywood Studios, and even though I wasn't feeling all that great, I was impressed by the level of detail. I got to jump the Millennium Falcon into hyperspace, which is the only must-do item I had on my Disney list, so that pretty much was everything I hoped it would be, and I was really excited to do it. And then Rise of the Resistance was amazing. It is a really cool, immersive experience. I was also able to push myself to enjoy some non-alcoholic refreshers at Olga's Cantina, and I gotta say, try the Carbonite Freeze because it is amazing. And before we left, we got to take photos with the Mandalorian, which was also a huge win. We had a lot of rain while we were at Disney, and one night as we were in line for the Buzz Lightyear ride, lightning struck the park's power grid as a storm rolled over. Now, we were inside, dry and in air conditioning, so when the ride shut down, we opted to stick around to see if it came back up. Waiting in an unmoving line with two 8-year-olds, though, who are just bouncing with energy, can be stressful. So I had my friend download a dice rolling app, and I set up a simple streamlined superheroes character sheet in Apple Notes, which I shared. My friend, his little, and my little then made up superheroes really quick, and we played an adventure for the better part of an hour in which Maleficent had sent minions, happened to be giant rats in tuxedos who were wielding plastic rapiers. It was Disney. And they were out to disrupt the power in the Magic Kingdom, kind of like in real life. Their heroes managed to defeat all the minions and began to take on the evil queen at Cinderella's castle before we had to bail from line in order to make a dinner reservation. The kids kept demanding that we finish the adventure, though, so when I was feeling a little bit better a couple days later, we did. We also played a short adventure while we were waiting to board our flight, in which Cruella de Vil led their same heroes on a cart chase through the Magic Kingdom while yelling, "You'll never get these puppies back!" Streamlined Superheroes is the most portable TTRPG I have in my toolbox, and my friend's little is now hooked, so that's a big win. I have adored hand-drawing maps on my Booksnote Air 5C. They are not beautiful. I have zero artistic skill. But they are mine, and the process of drawing them is rather meditative. I've also been enjoying handwriting my adventures on the tablet, and for folks who are on my Patreon, I've got a full handwritten Shadow Dark adventure, the Baskerville Vanishing, available to download as a PDF. Patrons also get access to ad-free videos. Now, I restarted the Patreon because YouTube is becoming less and less viable as a platform for a channel that is my size. So if you're inclined to join and support DM Tales, I'll do my best to keep giving you some added value that's difficult to do in other places. The link to join is right over there. Let's see. The Orange's Great American State Fair farce is going about as well as I had expected. His fake arch is falling apart, the cheap facades and the non-air conditioning exhibits are showing wear, and a piece of the stage fell and missed a line of dancers by just a few feet. Also, pretty much no one is going. The no-bid contract to turn the reflecting pool American flag blue is an utter failure because a massive algae bloom turned the water puke green. The liner started peeling off, and the Orange is now blaming, and this comes as a shocker, Democrats for sabotaging it. I'm sure that shoddy workmanship and a no-bid contract had nothing to do with that. And he's so strong about it being sabotaged that even a former U.S. Olympian was arrested for touching part of the liner that had floated to the surface. We also had gladiatorial fights on the front lawn of the White House to make Glorious Leader feel special, and that's not a sign of a declining civilization at all. Mike Johnson is upset that SCOTUS upheld the Constitution on birthright citizenship, but I'd say I'd feel better about that ruling if 3 of the justices hadn't decided that snatching rights away from people is justifiable, and the president can even do it through a memo. At least the regime got smacked down in their attempt to make the U.S. Postal Service the arbiter of who is a legitimate voter. This is a wild time. Orange Cat Games is about to launch their second Kickstarter, An Adventurer's Log. This one appeals to my recent impulse for a more analog feel to my TTRPGs, and Ron has shared a promo video with me, and I'm all too happy to share it with you. Also, I do have to say, this is not a sponsorship. I am sharing it because the folks at Orange Cat Games are my friends, so check it out. My Numenera players are itching to get back to the table, and that is a sentiment that every GM can feel good about. What makes it feel so great for me is that they're exploring the first region I created whole cloth for our group, and they are all sorts of wide-eyed and freaked out. Huge win. If you're in the Philly area, I invite you to check out 20-Sided Tankard. The one-day event takes place August 9th at Broken Goblet Brewery in Bensalem, PA. I'll be there running a Cypher System Chaos Adventure. Ron Meisker from Page will be running Tomb of the Ancient War King, and Meldar 16 Games will be running their Knights in White Satin Adventure. And that's just scratching the surface. There's 19 games to choose from, and the venue, I've run at it before, is amazing. Badges are just $20. Go check it out. I do wonder if the level of sophisticated immersion at Disney helps or harms our ability to appreciate more simple means of pursuing the same goal, because anything else then feels boring. I often see comments in, let's face it, products about the need for GMs to have soundtracks, mood lighting, and awesome terrain to achieve immersion, usually promoted by celebrity GMs or by players who are demanding it because they don't want to be bored. And when I come across these, I have a moment when I feel inferior, because I don't have the bandwidth to manage a theater production while I'm running a game, and I do wonder if I'm doing it wrong. Now, that never lasts long. I am who I am, and as a player, I honestly find a lot of these immersion tools to be constraining rather than liberating. But in Disney, I saw from whence that impulse comes. I also admit that the memory of my experience jumping the Falcon to hyperspace, I got to pull the lever down, could be helpful in any sort of science fiction game where I have to jump the ship into FTL flight. So, there's some good about it. There's some things I think might be detrimental about it. I'm still working out my thoughts. After a month, I have still not gotten through all my interviews from Concoction. I think there is one more that I'd like to publish before I archive all the raw videos. Look for it soon. I am about halfway through my first draft of my Redacted review. This is a wild game which takes on the feel of a 1950s science fiction movie, and I cannot wait to share it with you all. I've played it. It's really, really fun. I also read the Book of Magic for Dragonbane, and I'll be writing that review up very soon. It is also really cool, very straightforward, and it expands magic in Dragonbane very, very nicely. Shadow West and Six Gun Doomsday are in my queue, as is the boxed adventure for Coriolis the Great Dark, Flowers for Algorab. I think that's how you pronounce it. The Great Dark is a great game that I'd like to run, so check out this campaign when I actually present it, because it's pretty cool. I've also got some interviews to schedule, including one with Ron Meisker to talk about his upcoming Kickstarter, and a Christmas in July stream that is tentatively scheduled, which I think folks will enjoy. As always, I'm looking forward to bringing all of this to you, and until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.